Hello and welcome to Reel2Real. My name is Jason.
And I'm Sean. Let's get ready to talk about the latest installment of Daniel Craig's run as James Bond, Spectre.
Let's get into the details right after this intro. Spectre is a high-intensity action thriller that sends James Bond, and me, a Bondhead, on a journey into his past while uncovering a secret, sinister organization.
Sam Mendes, who directed Skyfall, also directed this latest entry into the 007 series.
And not only that, Daniel Craig is back. And for me, that's everything. He returns as Bond, James Bond. And Ralph Fiennes reprises his role as M, and Ben Whishaw returns as Bond's tech guy Q.
Spectre also starred Christoph Waltz as Blofeld, Leah Seydoux as Madeline Swan, Monica Bellucci as Lucia, Sinera, Naomi Harris as Eve Moneypenny, and many more.
You know, I don't know about you, Sean, but Christoph Waltz makes a heck of a bad guy.
I can't say I disagree with you. But how about we take a quick look at the trailer and let our viewers decide for themselves?
I couldn't agree with you more. Roll that trailer.
You had no authority.
Lucia. Somebody told me Lucia.
None. Mexico City. What were you doing there?
I was taking some overdue holiday.
So what's going on, James? They say you're finished.
What do you think?
I think you're just getting started.
Magnificent, isn't she? 0 to 60 in 3.2 seconds. A few little tricks up her sleeve.
Do one more thing for me.
What do you have in mind?
Make me disappear. Tell me where he is.
He's everywhere.
If you go there, you're crossing over to a place where there is no mercy.
You're protecting someone.
Get away from me! Why should I trust you?
Because right now, I'm your best chance of staying alive. This organization, do you know what it's called?
Its name is SPECTRE.
Do you know who links them all?
Me.
Welcome, James.
You came across me so many times, yet you never saw me.
What took you so long?
Is this really what you want? Living in the shadows, hunting, being hunted, always alone.
I don't stop to think about it.
It was me, James. The author of all your pain.
Now, Jason, did that just get your blood pumping?
Boy, it made me want to run around and do some parkour.
Whoa! Let's get through the show first before we do anything crazy. But Jason, you mentioned Christoph Waltz being an incredible bad guy, right?
I did indeed.
You know, who else has a great bad guy presence.
Who would that be?
Gary Oldman. And in fact, he was set out to play the role of Blofeld, but wouldn't commit to the worldwide 6 months production. Instead, Christoph was cast for the role.
You know, that's pretty neato. Did you also know that there was some speculations saying that they were getting Christopher Nolan to direct this movie?
You know, I did think I heard something about that. I think he should wait until the reboot of the franchise again to direct a Bond film. Don't get me wrong, I believe he would do a great job.
A great job he would do, an amazing job he would do, but Sam Mendes did do an okay job with this.
It sure looks like it, considering it just fell short of Skyfall's box office earnings. SPECTRE generated about $70 million, where Skyfall made about $88 million.
I'd say that's not too shabby. I also, however, heard that they actually went over their budget, where originally it was $300 million, it ended up being $350 million.
Whoa, that makes this the most expensive Bond film ever made. I hope they can turn a profit on this.
You know, I think they will, but for now, we've got to go to a commercial break.
When we come back, we will begin our reviews.
Welcome back, Bond heads, or as my friend Sean here calls you, 007 heads. There sure is a lot to discuss when it comes to how SPECTRE fits in with the rest of the Bond movies.
Yeah, I felt as though this movie was a very good mix of some of the aspects of the older and campier Bonds, as well as some of the grit and realism of the newer installments.
There were times where big action set pieces were happening on screen, and I felt like this movie will appeal to a slightly larger audience than Skyfall and Casino Royale, a couple of my faves, because of the kind of technical work that's gone into this movie, as well as a slightly commercial vibe.
Daniel Craig has said that he would like to go back to some of the more humorous parts of the older movies.
Personally, I think that Craig does the best work I've ever seen in a Bond series, you know, that I am a Bond head. And then I'm more drawn to that more serious, gritty vibe, you know, and that we've seen in the last 3 films.
Well, I think if you go into this movie wanting either kind of Bond, you will find it in SPECTRE. This thing is running almost 3 hours long, and there is a lot of different elements to this Bond, such as him having a love interest and also trying to find out about a man who seems to be controlling everything in his life.
And that controller? Who knows? But that main villain, played by Christoph Waltz, he does such a good job at being someone who is frightening, but also very believable.
I wish that he had gotten more screen time because there was so much to like about this guy's acting. I liked him in almost as much as I did in Inglourious Basterds and Django Unchained.
And all the bad guys are great. I mean, really. Muscle Man, you know, that fought Bond, had to fight in that train car. I think we got a clip coming up with that.
Oh man, that was a fantastic fight scene. Let's take a look at that. As far as some of the technical aspects of this Bond, I was impressed with the editing as well as the sound mixing and some of the effects. Sam Mendes being behind the camera helps to get some of the really great shots, Jason.
Yeah, and I remember that one long shot at the beginning. You remember that? You know, that was one of my favorite parts of the whole movie. And really, it was so cool to see how they pulled that off. And I really liked the way they opened up the film that way.
And the sound also impressed me quite a bit. I was sitting in one of those Dolby Atmos theaters, and having bullets whizzing by me and explosions right in front of me was a real treat.
And as you said, the editing of that one was, you know, it was one of the better parts of the film. You know, the editors are very kind of like the unseen craftsmen of a film. And I really like that. I did notice, however, there were a few quick cuts at the beginning of the film that irked me, but overall the editing was really great.
So if you had to give this film a rating, what do you think you'd give it, Jason?
You know, I think that's a tough one. Being a Bond head, there's just so many great aspects about the film, but there are a few I really didn't care for. I liked how Bond has a team that was able to give him cool gadgets, you know, that Q gives him. The story was impressive, and though sometimes I lost track of where the film was going. Daniel Craig, my man, Bond head that I am, is one of my favorite Bonds, and I enjoyed Sam Mendes as a director, so I think I would give this film 4 reels. What about you, Sean?
You know, I have to agree with all those things you just said, but I was also very impressed with how Christoph Waltz pulled off the villain, so I would also give this movie 4 reels.
I think all in all, Spectre was visually, conceptually, and technically very pleasing to my eyes.
And our protagonist and antagonist did not disappoint us at all.
Well, ladies and gents, it's about time for us to head out.
But not so fast, Jason. Before we do, we'd like to make a quick announcement. Be sure to tune in at 2 o'clock for a very special announcement brought to you by Hennepin Technical College's Media Storm regarding the upcoming movie Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
This is something that I've been waiting for a very long time. And trust me, this one announcement you are not going to want to miss.
And that is the truth. So for that, I am Sean Crossan.
And I'm Jason Ewert.
And we are signing off. We'll see you at 2 o'clock.
See you there.